The stars above Ilaris glowed like rivers of silver fire. From her floating observatory, Lysera Valen watched the blue and white sphere called Earth. It looked peaceful, small and full of noise she could not hear but could almost feel. Laughter, music, storms, and hope. For her people, the Aelari, emotions were dangerous things, primitive and unpredictable. They believed logic made them pure, that emotion made them weak. Yet Lysera had always wondered if maybe feeling was what made life beautiful. She was a scientist, young by Aelari standards, known for her curiosity. Her colleagues often warned her to focus on approved studies, not on lower civilizations like humans. But she couldn't help it. Humans were strange. They had short lives, yet filled them with so much: art, war, poetry, courage, and dreams that reached beyond their planet. How can they burn so bright in such a short time? She had once whispered to herself. That question became her obsession. The contact, it began as an accident. One night, while analyzing human radio frequencies, Lysera picked up a voice. A man's voice, calm and thoughtful, speaking into the void. To whoever's listening, even if it's just stars, I wonder if someone out there is wondering about us too. His name was Ethan Cole, a linguist and astronomer working at a remote observatory on Earth. He sent nightly transmissions, not expecting anyone to answer, but Lysera did. Her heart beat faster, a strange rhythm she had only read about. Against every rule of the Aelari Science Council, she sent a message back. Someone is listening. Ethan froze when he heard the reply. The voice was soft, melodic, unlike anything human. He thought it was a trick, maybe a signal bounce. But when the voice came again, gentle and curious, he knew it was real. You look at the stars every night. Why? He smiled, looking up at the sky. Because I want to believe someone's there. And for the first time in Aelari history, a human and an alien spoke as equals, not as subjects and observers, but as two souls curious about each other. A growing bond over weeks and months. They talked. Lysera learned about rain, books, and laughter. Ethan explained the taste of coffee and the joy of dancing in the dark. He spoke of loss, too, of people he missed and dreams that never came true. Lysera, in return, told him about her world, floating cities, crystal forests, and minds linked by silent thoughts. But she admitted something no other Aelari would dare say. She envied humans. Your kind, you feel pain, but you still hope. You lose everything, yet build again. My people do not understand that, Ethan laughed softly. We're stubborn. That's our gift and our curse. Their conversations grew deeper. She looked forward to his voice each cycle. He began staying awake just to catch her signal. It was not love yet, but it was something powerful, something real. And in the cold void between two stars, warmth began to grow, the discovery. But secrets cannot stay hidden forever. One evening, Lysera's lab door slid open and Counselor Thalen, her mentor, stepped inside. His silver eyes glowed with disappointment. You made contact, he said quietly. With a human, Lysera froze. I was only observing. Do not lie. You spoke to him, shared information. You broke the first contact protocol. Her hands trembled. He is not a threat, Thalen. He is a primitive. Their species still fights over land and belief. You disgrace the name of Aelari science. Lysera felt a pain deep in her chest, not just fear, but heartbreak. You always taught me to seek truth, she said. And the truth is, they are not what we thought. Humans are alive in ways we forgot. Thalen's expression turned cold. You speak like one of them. He turned and left, leaving her under arrest. The council stripped her of her position, banned her from research, and erased her communication logs. They called her contaminated by emotion. In Aelari culture, that was the greatest shame of all. The choice for days, Lysera sat alone in her quarters. Looking down at Earth, she replayed Ethan's last message and his voice filled with worry. Lysera, are you there? Please, just say something. Her people had silenced her, but not her heart. She realized something simple yet terrifying. She didn't just admire humanity anymore. She cared for one human in particular, and that feeling was stronger than fear. So she made a decision that would change everything. Late one night, Lysera entered the shuttle bay. The guards were not expecting anyone. No Aelari would dare touch a human world. She overrode the locks with her research codes, loaded a small pod, and set her destination, Earth. The engines hummed. Stars blurred. Her home world shrank into a pale light behind her. For the first time, Lysera felt truly free and utterly terrified. Arrival breaking through Earth's atmosphere was chaos. Fire streaked across the sky. The pod shook violently as alarms screamed, but she guided it through, her hands steady, her heart pounding. It landed in the desert near Ethan's observatory, the very place he used to send his signals. When the hatch opened, cool night air rushed in. Lysera stepped out, her silver skin glowing faintly under the moonlight. Her long white hair fluttered in the wind. Everything felt real. The sand beneath her feet, the smell of air, the sound of distant crickets, so different from the sterile quiet of her home. Ethan saw the flash from miles away and raced in his jeep toward the crash site. When he arrived, he stopped, eyes wide. A figure stood among the wreckage, graceful, alien, and familiar. "Lysera," he whispered. She turned, smiling softly. "I wanted to see if your sky was as beautiful as you said." For a moment, neither spoke. The stars above burned bright as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Then Ethan laughed, a sound full of disbelief and joy. "You actually came." She nodded. "They called me foolish. They said humans were primitive." She looked at him, her eyes shining. "But I think your kind has something my people lost long ago." "What's that?" he asked quietly. "Heart." And in that quiet desert night, under 1,000 watching stars, an alien girl who had been shunned for loving a human took her first step onto Earth, choosing feeling over fear and hope over pride. The desert night was quiet, yet every sound seemed louder to Lysera's alien senses. The wind whispered over sand dunes, distant animals stirred, and the stars above Earth blinked in ways she had never seen. Her heart pounded with a strange mixture of fear, excitement, and wonder. Ethan helped her out of the wrecked shuttle. He was pale, but his hands were steady as he guided her toward his jeep. "You're safe now," he said, glancing at the pod's smoking remains. "No one saw you land, and no one knows you're here." Lysera nodded. She had left everything behind, at her career, her family, her home world, to be here, to be with humans, to see what humans could truly be. She noticed everything differently now. The soft crunch of sand under her feet, the sharp scent of desert plants, the cold night air brushing against her skin. Even though she was an alien, she wanted to experience Earth as a human did. Learning to live, Ethan led her to his observatory, a modest building full of telescopes, computers, and stacks of books. He tried to explain what human life was like: meals, clothing, transportation, communication. Lysera laughed when he showed her a microwave. "You heat food with a box?" she asked, tilting her head. "Yes," Ethan replied, grinning. "Primitive, but it works." It felt strange to teach an alien human customs, but he enjoyed every moment. He showed her how to drink coffee, ride a bicycle, and use a computer. Lysera found it fascinating that humans created tools to make life simpler, yet still found joy in simple pleasures. A laugh, a sunset, a song. She tried speaking English, her melodic voice carrying an accent he had never heard before. At first she mispronounced words, but she practiced, laughing at herself. "You are funny," she said one morning as they shared breakfast. "Funny?" Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Yes, your species. Unpredictable, yet full of charm," she admitted. Ethan smiled. He had heard many things about humans from other scientists, but never like this. From someone who truly saw them, really saw them. The joy of simple things days passed, and Lysera became fascinated with simple human life. She watched birds build nests. She touched the bark of trees and felt the roughness beneath her fingers. She discovered music and dance and marveled at how humans could express so much with sound and movement. One evening, Ethan brought a guitar to the desert. He strummed a simple tune while the wind carried notes across the dunes. Lysera listened, captivated. "Music? You humans use sound to share your soul?" she whispered. Ethan laughed. "Exactly. And you're listening. That's what makes it special." Lysera smiled. Here on this small, chaotic planet, she felt alive in ways she never had among her own kind. She felt joy, fear, excitement, and love on all at once. And she wanted more. The threat arrives, but paradise was fragile. High above Earth, Ilari sensors picked up Lysera's presence. The council had not forgotten her disobedience. To them, humans were inferior, dangerous, and unworthy. They sent a small reconnaissance fleet to retrieve her and assess the planet. Lysera sensed their arrival before she saw them. A tremor of fear passed through her chest, the kind she had not felt among humans before. "They found me," she whispered to Ethan. Ethan frowned. "Who? My people?" "The Elari," she said. "They will come for me, and they do not believe humans deserve protection." The words hit him hard. Humans had always feared alien intervention, and now the stories were real. Yet as he looked at Lysera, he realized something else. Humans had something to show the galaxy, and she had chosen to fight for them. Hiding in plain sight, Ethan and Lysera decided to stay low. They moved between small towns, rented cabins, and traveled mostly at night. She was amazed by human ingenuity, how they could hide, survive, and care for each other, even in difficult circumstances. During this time, Lysera learned human humor, irony, and kindness. She began to laugh in ways she never had, sometimes so hard she would fall to the ground gasping for breath. She discovered books, novels, histories, poetry, and became obsessed with stories of human courage. "They are fragile," she said once, staring at a cracked teacup, "yet they endure. They are tiny sparks, but sparks that burn." Ethan nodded. "That's humanity. Weak in some ways, strong in others. You're starting to understand why I love this planet." Lysera smiled. She had always known humans were unique, but now she felt it. Their resilience, their creativity, their relentless hope. A test of courage one night while camping under the stars. Lysera noticed a patrol ship hovering silently over the forest near their cabin. Its design was unmistakably Alari, sleek, silver, and menacing. "They are here," she said softly. "We cannot hide forever." Ethan gripped her hand. "Then we won't hide. We'll show them." "You'll show them what humans really are." Lysera hesitated. Her instincts screamed danger, yet she nodded. Humans were brave, but often in ways she had never experienced among her own kind. If her people judged humans as primitive, it was because they had never seen them truly live, truly care, truly fight for one another. Over the next few days, Lysera and Ethan subtly observed the patrol. The Alari fleet did not land. They scanned, recorded, and left signals. The council was curious, but Earth remained untouched for now. "They fear what they do not understand," Lysera said one evening, her eyes reflecting firelight from their campfire. Ethan smiled, a spark of pride in his eyes. "Maybe they just need to see us." Lysera nodded. "Then we will show them." An unexpected bond during this time on Earth. Lysera's admiration for humans deepened. She saw Ethan risk sleep, food, and safety to help her adapt. She watched him show kindness to strangers, protect children, and speak gently to animals. It was human courage and compassion that touched her most. Lysera realized that humans were not perfect, yet they were capable of greatness in ways her species had forgotten. "I do not belong to them," she said one night, staring at the stars, "but I belong here. With humans. With him." Ethan reached for her hand. "And we're glad you're here. More than you know." For the first time, Lysera felt the warmth of being wanted, not because of her abilities or her status, but simply because she was herself. A quiet resolve as the days passed. Lysera trained herself to stay alert, blending her alien skills with human knowledge. She could move silently, read signals, and anticipate danger, but she also learned patience, kindness, and laughter. One evening, Ethan asked, "Lysera, what will you do if they come for you?" She looked at the desert horizon, where the sky met the earth in shadows of gold and silver. "I will fight. In my own way. Not to conquer, not to destroy, but to show them humans are worth more than they believe, that they are alive, that they are special." Ethan nodded. "Then we'll do it together." And under the vast night sky of Earth, with the stars bearing silent witness, the alien who had been shunned for loving a human began to understand something profound. Humanity was not primitive. Humanity was fire, hope, courage, and heart, and she had chosen to stand among them, no matter the cost. The sun rose over the desert, painting the sand in gold and crimson. Lysera stood at the edge of a small canyon, her eyes scanning the horizon. The Alari fleet had arrived, sleek silver ships glinting in the morning light, hovering silently like predators. Ethan stood beside her, his hand gripping hers tightly. "They've come," he whispered. "Are you ready?" Lysira nodded, though her heart pounded. She had trained, learned, and lived among humans for weeks now. She knew their strength, their courage, and their unpredictable brilliance. She also knew the Aelari did not. This was her chance to show her people, and the galaxy, that humans were worth more than anyone had believed. The confrontation. The lead Aelari ship descended, hovering just above the desert floor. A hatch opened, revealing Counselor Thalen and two other high-ranking Aelari. Their silver skin gleamed in the sunlight, their expressions cold, judging. "Lysira Valen," Thalen said, his voice like metal. "You have defied the Council. You have exposed yourself to humans. Step forward and come with us or face the consequences." Lysira stepped forward. Her voice was steady, though her chest raced. "I will not go back," she said. "Not until you understand what humans truly are." Thalen's eyes narrowed. "Humans are primitive. You have been deceived." "No," Lysira said, raising her hands. "I have seen. I have learned. Humans are fragile, yes, but their hearts, their courage, it is something your people have forgotten. They feel, they create, they hope, and that makes them powerful in ways you cannot measure." The other Aelari exchanged uneasy glances. Their calculations, their history, their arrogance had always convinced them of their superiority. Lysira's words threatened that certainty. Human courage in action just then. A group of scientists and local villagers emerged from behind rocks, standing alongside Ethan and Lysira. They had followed the strange silver light in the sky and had chosen to protect the alien who had chosen them. One young boy stepped forward, holding a small flag. "We don't know who you are," he said boldly, "but she's one of us now. And we protect our own." Ethan added, "They've learned about humans the way we do, by living among us. You think we are primitive, but you have never seen the best of us." A small drone sent by the Aelari scanned the humans, expecting weakness. Instead, it recorded courage, compassion, and unity. Even without weapons, these humans were standing firm, unafraid, determined to protect what they loved. Lysira smiled. "This is what I mean. Humans are not primitive. They are alive. They fight with their hearts when logic cannot protect them. That is strength beyond any technology." The test of understanding, Counselor Thalen stepped forward, his energy pulsing with controlled power. "You risk everything for them." "Why? They are weak. You are strong. Come with us or be destroyed." Lysira looked him in the eyes. "I am strong because of them, not in spite of them. I have learned what your cold calculations will never teach. That life is more than rules, more than logic. Life is about hope, love, and courage, and that is something humans have in abundance." Thalen hesitated. For the first time, doubt flickered across his face. Lysira continued, her voice unwavering. "If you take me back, you will never understand them. But if you watch, truly watch, perhaps you will learn something your empire has forgotten." The Aelari soldiers stood silent, their rigid minds shaken. Humans had never been this bold. Humans had never faced them without fear, and survived. A human act of bravery. Suddenly, a small earthquake trembled the desert. Rocks began to shift, threatening the humans standing near the canyon edge. Without thinking, Ethan dashed forward, pushing a child out of harm's way. A boulder grazed his shoulder, throwing him to the sand. Lysira's heart surged. She raced to him, lifting him gently with strength that belied her size. "Ethan!" she cried, relief flooding her senses. Thalen and the observing Aelari paused, scanning the event. A human had risked his life to save another, without hesitation, without calculation, without expecting reward. In that instant, the essence of humanity revealed itself. Selflessness, courage, and heart. Lysira whispered almost to herself, "This is why I came here. This is why they are special." Thalen's face shifted. He turned away, speaking to his soldiers quietly. The rigid certainty in his tone was gone, replaced by confusion and a faint trace of understanding. A new perspective. The other Aelari looked at humans differently now. Lysira continued, speaking to both her people and the humans. "I left my home because I wanted to feel what I could not there. And I found it here. Not in perfect cities, not in perfect minds, but in the courage, hope, and love of humans. They are not primitive. They are young, yes, but full of potential, and they are alive in a way my people forgot." Thalen finally nodded slowly. "Perhaps We have judged too quickly. Perhaps we have forgotten what it means to live, not merely exist. Lysera stepped closer to Ethan, holding his hand firmly. This planet, this species, they are worth protecting, worth learning from, worth standing with. The humans around her nodded, their trust in her unwavering. They had seen her as one of their own, even when others had rejected her. The decision. After hours of tense discussion, Thalen made a surprising declaration. Lysera Valen will remain on Earth. The Council will observe from afar, but no Aelari shall interfere. Perhaps humanity can teach us more than we thought. Lysera felt a wave of relief and joy. It was not victory in battle, but something greater, understanding. Her people had witnessed humans at their finest, brave, compassionate, and alive. And they could not deny it. Ethan grinned. "Looks like you won," he said softly. Lysera smiled, resting her head against his shoulder. "We won together, and maybe one day my people will see what I have seen. Humanity is more than a species. It is hope itself. A new beginning." The Aelari fleet departed, leaving Earth untouched. Lysera and Ethan stayed in the desert a little longer, watching the stars. "Do you regret leaving your home?" Ethan asked. Lysera shook her head. "No, I found a home here. Not a place, but a people. And I found someone who sees me not as an alien, but as a partner, a friend, a companion. And humans?" She smiled, gazing at the distant lights of Earth's cities. "They are extraordinary. Flawed, yes, but extraordinary. I came here because I loved one human. And I stayed because I learned to love a whole species." The sun set behind them, painting the sky in colors neither human nor Aelari had ever truly seen before. Lysera felt a sense of peace she had never known on her home planet. She had chosen Earth, she had chosen humanity. And in doing so, she had changed two worlds forever. The stars above blinked softly, as if acknowledging the promise of something new. A future where humans were no longer primitive, but celebrated for their courage, their hearts, and the fire that burned within them. Lysera took Ethan's hand, squeezing it gently. "This is only the beginning," she said. "Then let's make it worth it," he replied. And together, under the vast sky of Earth, an alien and a human began a journey not just of survival, but of understanding, hope, and the extraordinary potential of humanity.